Have you ever wished you could highlight cells or rows based on some text that you enter into a specific cell? So let's go ahead and highlight some of these cells in this column here. Go to Format and Conditional Formatting. And what we can do here is remove those rows there at the end of that reference so it looks at the entire sheet. And then format cells if, and we'll do text contains, and then we can look at this cell here, which is equals B4. Now, it's not going quite right now. It's only highlighting one. The reason is because we need to add some dollar signs here to lock that reference so it doesn't move around. And now that we do that, now you can see that is highlighting everything with business in the sector name. So then to wrap up, you can select whatever format you want here on the background and the text, and then bold, italics, underline, or strike through if you want. And then when you're done, you can click done. And just like that, you can highlight things in a specific column based on matching whatever you type into this. So we could type in health, we could type in business, we can type in tech, and it highlights appropriately. Now, if you want to highlight the entire row, we are going to have to use a different method. So if we go back into our rule here, and so if you don't know how to find that rule, you can select anywhere in where that rule is being applied, and then go to Format and Conditional Formatting just like that. If you don't know where it's being applied, you can always click up here in the upper left, and it'll show all the rules on that sheet. So when you found that rule, you can click on it, and then we're going to change this from text contains, and we're going to scroll down to custom formula is. And then we need to make some modifications here. So we have our reference to this cell, and then we need to compare to this column. And so we do another equals. So we start with an equals, and we have another equals here. And then we're going to do another locking to make sure it locks to this column D. And then we can do 7, just like this. So at this point, nothing's happening. Let's hit done for a second. And if we type in business here, you can see now business is being highlighted. So it's kind of working, but why is it not capturing the business technology? The reason is, if we go back to this rule, so again, I clicked in here and open this up, it's doing an exact match right now. So we need to do a search instead of exact match. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. I'm just going to use a match formula here. And then the way this works is we put in our key where we're searching, and then if we're doing a exact match, and this has to do not with the text, it has to do with numbers and stuff like that. So here we have our B4 and D7. So again, we are matching now the same way we were before. So to make this a search, what we're going to do is add a wildcard around our key here. And the way we do that is using asterisks. But we can't just put the asterisks directly there. We have to put them in double quotes and then use an ampersand to combine it. So something like this, we'll add a wildcard at the beginning of business, and then we have to do the same thing at the end. So ampersand, double quote, a asterisk, and another double quote, and there we go. So this looks like a lot, but all we're doing is adding these wildcard symbols at the beginning and end of business, so we'll search and find it anywhere in there. And then the rest of it is just looking in this column and then doing a match just like that. So now you can see everything with business in it is being highlighted. So at this point, we're back to where we were with the text contains. So how do we make it apply to entire row? And that's where we can go back to this apply to range. So here I can change this to B and G. And then once I click out and hit done, now you can see that the entire row is being highlighted. And so at this point, now I can change this. I could say something like health, just like that, boom, and it's done. You can change this to tech, and now everything with technology, and so forth. I could even search at the end, healthcare, and so forth. So that is how you highlight based on text in a cell, and you can do an exact match, or you can do a wildcard match like this. And so if you want to adjust this where it's starting with or ending with. So if you want it to be starting with something, then remove this from the beginning. If you want it to be only ending with that, then remove the wildcard from the end. And then you'll be able to search with ends with or starts with. And at this point, this is just contains. All right, so that's it for today's video. Make sure to check out the other videos on our channel for more tutorials on both Google Sheets and AppScript. And as always, have a great day.